Star Trek Lower Decks brings back the Klingon title once assigned to Star Trek, The Next Generation's Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart. In Star Trek, The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 17, Sins of the Father, Lieutenant Worf, Michael Dorn, returns to the Klingon home world, QoNOS, to restore the House of Mocha's honor. The Klingon High Council doesn't allow challengers to fight directly, so Worf has to name a Chadiich, a ritual second, to fight in his place. After Worf's long-lost brother and eager first Chadiich, Ken, Tony Todd, is incapacitated, Picard becomes Worf's Chadiich. Lieutenant Beckett Mariner, Tawny Newsome, first meets Klingon Captain Ma, John Curry, in Star Trek, Lower Decks Season 4, Episode 9, The Inner Fight, when they're trapped on Sherbal V by disgraced Starfleet cadet Nick Locarno, Robert Duncan McNeil. Ma's frank insight helps Beckett reckon with the responsibility of her Starfleet career so that Mariner can defeat Locarno. In Star Trek, Lower Decks Season 5, Episode 4, A Farewell to Farms, Mariner seeks out Ma on QoNOS for help with the USS Cerritos Season 5 mission, only to find Ma stripped of rank and reluctantly working on his family's bloodwine farm. Star Trek, Lower Decks gives Mariner and Boimler Picard's job as Chadiich. Naming Starfleet officers their Chadiich saves Worf and Ma's lives. Star Trek, Lower Decks Season 5, Episode 4, A Farewell to Farms, gives Lieutenants Beckett Mariner and Brad Boimler, Jack Quaid, the same job as Captain Picard when they both become Chadiich for Ma. After Boimler suggests that Ma can invoke the Ritual of Jetherd to regain his command, the Klingon Oversight Council, led by Barg, Colton Dunn, demands a team of 4. Unlike Ken, Ma's brother, Malor, Sam Witwer, is disinterested, but bribable, while Mariner and Boimler eagerly volunteer to get involved with a Klingon ritual, never mind the deadly painsticks and wild targs. Although the rituals end differently, both Worf and Ma get help from their brothers and Starfleet friends in challenges against councils that can't be swayed easily. Worf's opponent, Duras, Patrick Massett, convinces the High Council that Moch is an appropriate scapegoat. The Oversight Council never intends to help Ma, since Ma killed Barga's brother. Picard, Mariner, and Boimler all play by Klingon rules to find Starfleet-approved solutions. Picard stands up to the Klingon High Council, and Worf accepts discommendation instead of death, while Mariner and Boimler let Barga's death sate the Council's demand for blood to ensure Ma succeeds. Star Trek, Lower Decks loves using Chadiich for relationships. Chadiich is a specific type of dedicated relationship, not just a friend. Star Trek, Lower Decks loves using the Klingon term Chadiich to describe relationships between characters, even before Beckett Mariner and Brad Boimler officially earned the title for Ma. In Star Trek, Lower Decks premiere episode, Second Contact, Mariner made herself Boimler's mentor and named Boimler her Chadiich. With his reputation as a by-the-book officer, Boimler is the perfect person to defend Mariner to the authorities, especially when said authority is Beckett's mother, Captain Carol Freeman, Dawn Lewis. Freeman herself was called Chadiich by Captain William Riker, Jonathan Frakes, and Vulcan Lieutenant Tlyn, Gabrielle Ruiz, referred to another Vulcan as hers. Foreign loanwords have made their way into English when there is no pre-existing equivalent, so it makes sense that words from alien languages would become part of Federation standard in Star Trek. Taken literally, Chadiich means second, but the examples from Star Trek. Star Trek brings back Captain Picard's Klingon title, A Bold New Adventure. In the ever-expanding universe of Star Trek, the legacy of Captain Jean-Luc Picard has always loomed large, woven into the fabric of both Starfleet history and intergalactic diplomacy. But what if the galaxy wasn't quite done with the iconic captain? What if, after years of peace, a new chapter in Picard's life were to unfold, one that reawakens his legacy not just as a Starfleet officer but as a Klingon warrior? This possibility is exactly what the newest Star Trek series, Star Trek: Legacy, explores in a bold twist on Picard's established journey. After his apparent retirement, the story unearths a new political and galactic crisis that could only be solved by none other than the once proud captain. But this time, Picard's role is not confined to Federation boundaries. He's called upon to reclaim a title that was once his as a symbol of unity, the Klingon title of Baffle-Dajaj, the honor of today. The Klingon Connection, a forgotten legacy. It has been years since the events of Star Trek, Nemesis, and Star Trek, Picard, with the captain now enjoying a more peaceful life, having long since left Starfleet Command. Yet, his past, which includes an unexpected bond with the Klingon Empire, continues to haunt him in ways he could never have imagined. Many fans may remember that during the Star Trek, The Next Generation era, Picard had been part of a historic moment with the Klingon, notably in the Klingon Civil War story arc. But few know that Picard had been granted the rare Klingon title of Baffle-Dajaj by the High Council during a delicate diplomatic mission where his intervention saved the Empire from disintegration. While his leadership skills were recognized by the Klingon, it was his strength of character, compassion, and adherence to honor that earned him this prestigious, albeit unofficial, title. The Baffle-Dajaj title was not something Picard had sought, nor something he wore with pride publicly. In his mind, it was simply a mark of respect, not a relic of his military career. But as the years passed, the memory of this honor faded into the background, even among the few who knew of it. Yet, as we discover in Star Trek, Legacy, this honor was never forgotten by the Klingon Empire. The Klingon people, bound by a strict code of honor, never forgot the debt they owed to the man who had helped them retain their political stability. And when the galaxy faces a new crisis, a threat that could undermine the delicate peace forged between the Federation and the Empire, it is this title, and the weight of its legacy, that must come to the forefront once more. The return of Baffle-Dajaj. The Star Trek Legacy series begins with a mysterious transmission from an undisclosed Klingon location. The Federation Council and Starfleet are alerted to a growing disturbance in the Empire. A faction of rogue Klingon, tired of the perceived weakness in the current Chancellor's leadership, are rising to challenge the status quo. But unlike the typical Klingon insurrection, this one is different. There's a hidden power at play, one that could spell the end of the Federation's fragile alliance with the Klingon Empire. In a council meeting, the Federation's top officials, including Starfleet Admiral Catherine Janeway, are caught off guard when a high-ranking Klingon diplomat, Worf, now an ambassador, arrives with urgent news. The rogue faction does not just want power, they seek to disrupt the balance of the galaxy. And they have found a new symbol to rally behind, the legacy of Baffle-Dajaj, the title once held by Jean-Luc Picard. The news is shocking. Worf, with the weight of Klingon history on his shoulders,